Your name says L, Kevin.
Huh?
Realize your name says L.
Wait for the Cool J.
Well, last name is B.
You get
So
privilege. You don't have to work as hard. You can slack off in jobs and still get promoted and still not have to worry about somebody coming after you. So whiteness to me is about privilege and access to information systems and people and power that you didn't earn.
You're asking us to talk about history, the history of the South. This is in Georgia. What happened in Georgia? There were savages in Georgia. It was the ancestors of the white right-wingers. They were absolute savages. They murdered people. They lynched people. They raped people. They enslaved people. They took babies from their mothers and sold them as property. You want to talk about savages? Your ancestors were the biggest savages the world has ever seen. And so don't you dare call a black man a savage after you murdered him. Don't you dare do that. I'm so sick of African Americans being called violent when the world's worst violence was done to them, not by them, to them, not by them. For God's sake, you want to do racist stereotypes? If it fit anywhere, and it doesn't, but if it fit anywhere, it would certainly fit white right-wingers in the South, who has hundreds of years of history of being savages. Savages. They snatched babies, and they sold them as property, and they raped their mothers. Savages. That's what they were. You want to talk about stereotypes? Screw all of you who still defend that Confederacy. That monstrosity. Anyone who defends that is a barbaric savage.
That's why they don't want to teach American history in public schools. That's why there's been a strong orchestrated effort to prevent the teaching of anything that you just mentioned right now. Because, hey, God forbid that, children learn about the real savages in this country's history, right? Let's go ahead and dehumanize people over their toenails, but let's also erase the part of our history that, yes, is dark, that's awful, but is the truth.
You know what white right-wingers did in the South? And they did this for hundreds of years. In a lynching, they not only hung the person, they burned the person, and then they cut off their genitalia. And in the midst of doing all this, I swear to God, you could look it up in the history books. They had a picnic around the body. And then they would take home pieces of the charred body for memorabilia. They would have their kids, go pick pieces of the body off. And then after they did all of that, they had the temerity to call black people violent. No more. You don't ever get to call a black person violent. You don't ever get to do that. So if you're a white right-winger in the South, don't cry about, oh no, my beloved ancestors. Your ancestors were not beloved. They weren't. They were monsters. So I said it because it's true. How you react to that is up to you. You can say, hey, that was terrible. They shouldn't have done that.
You had a lot of prejudice, which I hadn't been aware of until I read your book. That particularly when you and your uncle and your dad went to play Las Vegas.
Oh, yes.
You'd play a hall in Vegas when it was beginning to expand as a great entertainment center.
Yes.
And you'd find that you couldn't stay in the hotel you were playing in?
No, there was no staying. You couldn't eat in the hotel. And I'm not speaking about 1930 or even the 40s. I'm talking 50s. Every big black star that worked Las Vegas, that helped build it up. I'm speaking of Lena Horne, Nat King Cole, Billy Eckstein, the Mills Brothers, the people who helped not only that town, but our business and contributed in such a way and would pack the joint. We could not walk through the front. This is in Las Vegas, Nevada. And you could not eat in the restaurant. To forget gambling, you couldn't get up to a table. They wouldn't allow you in the casino. That's the truth.
So you performed, and then you had to go Out the sideway.
Out the sideway, and
Down
if
the
you
street
had...
to the ghetto. And
That was the only place. But there is mixed emotions about that. And I guess I had to live to be 63 years old to realize it. That by integration, we lost a great deal. We gained a great deal when everything started to integrate in terms of acceptance and this, that, and the other. But in that, what we call, quote, the ghetto, was all our culture. You understand what I'm saying? There was the colored barber shop, and I say colored because that was the terminology used in those days. There was the colored rooming house where we all stayed. There was community. And because we all suffered these indignities, it brought us, as black performers, closer together. And we shared experiences, and we hung out. Soon as it started to open up like this, and everybody could stay at the hotel they were working in, we very rarely saw each other anymore. And it's a shame. We lost that. It's too bad we couldn't have maintained a little better balance.
Not every woman who's sexual is a size 2. Not every woman who's sexual is walking like a supermodel. And not every woman who's sexual is lighter than a paper bag. As an actor of color, you're not getting paid the same way. You're not seen the same way. They won't consider you for the love interest. They won't consider you for a role they wrote for Sandra Bullock or Reese Witherspoon. You can't be a Meryl Streep if you're the third girl from the left in a narrative with 2 scenes. I got the Oscar, I got the Emmy, I got the 2 Tonys. I've done Broadway, I've done TV, I've done film, I've done all of it. I have a career that's probably comparable to Meryl Streep, Julianne Moore, Sigourney Weaver. They all came out of Yale. They came out of Juilliard. They came out of NYU. They had the same path as me. And yet I am nowhere near them. Not as far as money, not as far as job opportunities, nowhere close to it. You pay me what I'm worth. I think that's what's happened to us throughout history is the dehumanization of us has made it possible for us to be hated. So now the stigma is to just humanize us. Mm-hmm. That's the beauty of art. I'm worthy. When I came out of my mom's womb, I came in worthy. I do know that especially women out there, I'll just say this, that they're not comfortable with just sitting back anymore, that they want to play a more active role. I know Taraji P. Henson, I know Kerry Washington, I know Halle Berry. They're walking and stepping into their power as producers. They're putting the narratives out there that they want to do, that they want to see other women of color in. And my whole thing is step up to the plate. When you are in a position of power, do something with it. I'd like to thank Paul Lee, Shonda Rhimes, Betsy Beers, Bill DeLee, and Peter Nowak for thinking that a sexualized, messy, mysterious woman could be a 49-year-old, dark-skinned African-American woman who looks like me. I see a line. And over that line, I see green fields and lovely flowers and beautiful white women with their arms stretched out to me over that line. But I can't seem to get there no how. I can't seem to get over that line. That was Harriet Tubman in the 1800s. And let me tell you something. The only thing that separates women of color from anyone else is opportunity. You cannot win an Emmy for roles that are simply not there. So here's to all the writers, the awesome people who have redefined what it means to be beautiful, to be sexy, to be a leading woman, to be black. And to the Taraji P. Hensons, the Kerry Washingtons, the Halle Berrys, the Nicole Beharies, the Megan Goods, to Gabrielle Union, thank you for taking us over that line. Thank you.
show. Hi, everyone. Welcome to
Hey, what's up?
of 3 Black Comics.
One of these days, Carl, you're doing it yourself, the one black comic.
Uno negro.
Instead of Cinco Negro, it's going to be Uno Negro. Yeah. Well, Desi's on vacation. Pam is under the weather. Yes. You know, Desi's rolling like that.
Got that extended
travel
plan.
show.
Desi's rolling like Desi got nothing. Desi's what white people hold up as an example of why all black people should be doing well. Like, look at Desi. He's going, oh, what's wrong with you guys? Welcome to the show. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. Thank you so much. If you're watching us on YouTube, thank you so much. If you're not, and you can, we'd appreciate that. We're trying to build up our following on YouTube. If you're watching us on Facebook, welcome. Please tell your friends, your family, like, share, subscribe.
Subscribe.
Subscribe. That's
Subscribe.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Subscribe and like and share us on Facebook. We truly appreciate it. And welcome to the 5 Black Comics. And I want to add this tagline: life in the black lane. That's what we're all living. It's life in the black lane. Life in the black lane. So today last week we talked about Kyle Rittenhouse. He was found not guilty for killing 2 people, even though, you know, we all know how we feel about that. Left his house with a gun, went all the way to a different state, shot 2 people, went back home, and is free man.
Hanging out with Donald Trump.
And now he's hanging out with Donald Trump. So
rewards for murdering people.
Yes, he's rewarded for killing 2 people that were at a Black Lives Matter rally. And I'm sure that has a lot to do.
But it's okay, Carl, because it was okay because one was a pedophile. So that's why it was okay.
Oh, really? Okay. So is that so? Should
That's their fact. That's their fact.
Yeah.
You can look it up. It's a fact.
Okay. So if I had shot Epstein, I would have been okay. I would have been set free because he was a pedophile.
What about?
I don't know, man. This would be 2 black comics. Be in jail, Carl.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
That's right. There'd be 2 and a pair of bars.
And Tanya be holding it down by herself.
It's like, it's the Tanya comic.
Yeah, but
we had a guy on our show that did that was in jail, I believe. Remember that guy? I think he was in prison or jail.
Yeah.
I am not.
So we're going to talk about Ahmaud.
Sorry for my Wi-Fi.
The Ahmaud Arbery verdict. They were found guilty. Some of them were found not guilty on a few counts. I'm not sure what those counts were, but basically they were all found guilty. And my take on this, from this whole thing, is, if anybody watching can help me with this, or Pam, Tanya, Kevin, why can't white people mind their own business? Why?
That should have been the title today.
That's funny.
Why? I mean, if I look out my window and I see 2 white people, or 3, or 1, or 4, or 5, or a crowd walking down my street, I'm gonna look out the window and I'll go back to whatever it is I was doing.
Not me.
Not you.
You're like, oh Lord, Jehovah's Witnesses.
Think about what you just said, man. Now, my brother and I, maybe about 15 years ago, my mom was living in a neighborhood in Silver Spring, Maryland, and we left the house on feet to walk to the train station to take the train to downtown D.C. Now, I had it on a backpack, and my brother had a backpack, and we're actually going down to D.C. to make money, right? So, I was going down to do some juggling, and my brother was a street vendor. But we're going down. So we're walking through my mom's neighborhood. And when we got to the train station, we were surrounded by police officers, made to lay on the ground, face down like this, while they searched our bags. And some white lady looking out the window that saw us walking by and called the police and said 2 burglars are walking by the house.
Wow.
Yeah. So by the time we got from my mom's house to the metro, it was about a 12-minute walk.
Yeah.
We were on the ground, face down like this, while all these plainclothes police officers searched our bags which they found absolutely nothing but, but my juggling equipment and stuff like that. I had my duffel bag. So yeah, man, that just makes me think what you just said. Why can't white people mind their business? Just sitting in the window, saw us walk by, call the police. I see 2 burglars walking by with a bag full of merchandise, thinking that we stole what was in those bags. We stole out somebody's house. Meanwhile, my mom lives in a big house down the street, So it was just, you're right, man. Why can't white people mind their business? They never apologized either. Once they found out we weren't burglars, they just walked off. They never said, hey, sorry, guys, whatever. None of them. Put the little chain, the badges on the chain like this back into their shirt, and they all left. No apology, no nothing.
Nope, they did it on purpose. It's all good.
Yeah. So Gina asked, why can't white people mind their own business about what, Carl? I think Kevin just explained it. Gina, if you're explain, like you see a black person in your neighborhood, why do you need to call the police? For what?
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not like black people are here on earth and been here for thousands, millions, bazillion years. It's not, I can understand if you look out your window, you saw like a purple person or a green person, right? Nobody's ever seen that color person. So yeah, you get on the phone, hey, there's a green guy coming down my street. Right? But you see 2 black men, black people are everywhere, and immediately you call them and you assume that they're up to something nefarious.
Yes.
I had somebody ask me that in a store once. What was that? I don't remember which store that was, but they were asking me something crazy. I said, is there a reason why you like up on me like this? I feel really uncomfortable right now. He was like, oh, well, I was just he said something stupid to security guard. I was like, first of all, look at me. Look at my digs. Since this is a clothing store. Do I look like a thief to you? What thief comes in with the shit I got on? Yeah. Thieves don't walk in with Ferragamo shoes. I'm sorry. They usually don't do that. So I was like, you need to check yourself and think about your visual before you accuse somebody of something. He goes, well, it's okay. I was just, no, stop following me. Because now you're gonna make me pissed off.
Yeah. I mean, it's amazing to me that in 2021, some white people are still mesmerized by our presence. This is 2021, and we're going to roll into 2022. And there's still going to be some white people who are mesmerized by the fact that we exist.
Yeah.
Right?
There's some Karens that are Karen and their husbands that are just like, they just have to be the ones that like, oh, there's somebody suspicious outside. It's like,
they call comedians, man. You ever check into a fancy hotel and you walk up to the front desk and they go, you must be the comedian.
Yes.
That happened to me yesterday. I checked out.
The psychic.
Yeah.
Out here in Jersey in the High Regency, and I walked up and said, "She goes, you comedian?"
Yeah.
Well, I can't afford this hotel unless I'm a comedian, So
yeah,
look at that treatment, man.
I was actually at a gas station pumping gas early in the morning. I was leaving. I did a show in Maine, I think it was, and I had 2 people said to me, "You must have been a comic and that did the show tonight." Because it was like what do you call it? It's like not a Knights of Columbus, but one of those
Lodge.
Lodge. There was a benefit for a lodge, so
so they knew none of y'all would read it. No.
Yeah, so I'm pumping gas, and people, oh, you're the comic that were in town tonight. I mean, this is the entire town, and they knew that I was the guy. You know what I mean? That had to be in town because obviously they were.
You know what you should have said? Don't call for having me.
Been there, done that, man. Hey, so the question is the guy who, and I know his name, but I don't know his name at this point. The guy with the haircut like Mo from the Three Stooges, that one that killed.
The one who fired the
yeah, the one who filmed the murder of Arbery.
Oh, he's talking about
that's I know it's William Roddy Brown.
That's his name.
Yes, and that's another thing we need to stop doing. We need to stop mentioning Arbery's name and mention their names because that always happens.
Yes, you're right. It's a Mo. I call him Mo from
William Roddy Brown.
Three Stooges, right? Mm-hmm. He claims that he just filmed this, that he wasn't part of the murder.
Oh, please.
But that goes back to him getting off his porch, being a nosy ass, and going to film this thing. Now, it's weird because he didn't film this. If he didn't film this murder would have never got solved.
Yeah.
So how do we feel about that? Because he actually is the reason that this murder was solved.
Scary.
You know,
That's
but
right.
he also is paying the ultimate consequence also because he's going to get life in prison most likely.
Good. He
For
should.
filming that. Yeah, he should. I guess he's part of the murder. I mean,
He is. I mean, you're filming a murder. You're filming it. Like, that's
yeah,
sick. That's like, what are you, into
keep it as a,
negrophilia?
maybe. Yeah, he want to keep it as a souvenir. That murder is a souvenir, and a lot of racist people like to keep, you know, like serial killers. They used to take
Yeah.
things like
Yeah.
as a souvenir from their victims. So this is sort of like a souvenir for him,
Yep.
which
How many
backfired.
more he got?
His ass is in jail, but also the reason that this murder is being solved also was that without that phone footage, this would have just been swept under the rug.
Yeah. So we thank God for the inbred, because
Yeah, they thought they were going to get away with it. You know
yeah.
what I mean?
Well, they were not very bright. If you
But there's
look
a
at
prosecutor right
father,
now that's in trouble right now, also, correct? The prosecutor's
Who?
in trouble. The original prosecutor was the one that was trying to cover up for these guys. Matter of
they all
fact,
know each other.
she's actually she's facing criminal charges right now. Remember, they fired her, and
Good.
she's
She's good.
under indictment right now because she was trying to cover this whole thing up. Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, this is crazy. In 2021, you can murder somebody and then have it covered up by DA office and stuff like that. So
Well, that's why, and they wonder why we don't trust nobody.
no, we don't trust them. Nobody.
Yeah. I mean, like we were talking about earlier, like what do these people really want from Black people? Seriously, what do they want? It's pretty obvious that, as in one of the videos, the guy said the right wing, you know, the right wing whites or the right wing racists, you know, they were savages, and they were.
They were,
You know what I mean?
so, and they still are, by the way. Most
Yeah.
of the right wingers will still come out here and pick you all apart and burn you in front of your children and then eat them. Most of them, a lot of them.
But you know, it was basically like it was back in the 50s and 60s or whatever. It was the Democrats, correct, that were doing this. Then the Dixiecrats, as they called them, then switched to the Republican Party. You know, after the Strom Thurmond situation, and then you know, a lot of the racist people were pissed at the Kennedys for working with Martin Luther King. So a lot of the Democrats left the Democratic Party and became Republicans, and that's why we're where we're at with Republicans today.
Yes, exactly. I was going to say, don't be fooled.
Yeah, so that's why we're seeing what we're seeing from Republicans, because they're just basically, you know, the ancestors of, I mean, not the ancestors, the offspring of those people from the 50s and 60s. You know.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they're holding the standards. That's why they're there, and that's why they have the seat.
Republicans is the Dixiecrats of the 60s, basically, right now. And it started with, I mean, Reagan and Nixon, you know.
Oh, they were the worst.
You know, that
They were the
whole
worst.
Southern strategy thing that they did, you know, to win the White House and win votes and stuff like that. And it's really deep if you get into it. So, but nothing, it's just the Republicans right now is the party that wants to take us back to 1958. And they're doing a good job.
They're doing a good job, but they got another thing coming. They think we're gonna sit down.
Seriously,
Be
what
all
do they really want? I mean, like I said earlier,
They don't know, Carl. They don't know.
I mean, like we're never going back to the back of the bus. We're never going back to stepping off the sidewalk when white people come by. We're never going back to the black water fountains and the white water fountains. We're never going back to all of it. So what do they want? What are they shooting for? What would make them absolutely happy? I know probably no Trump supporters watching this show, but I would love to know what will make those right-wing white people happy. What do you want to divide the country in half? You take half, we take. What do you want? What are they hoping for? What are they hoping would be the end result?
They don't have any.
That's a good question, and I think they're willing to have a civil war. I mean, to destroy the country if they can't have their way, because it won't be the first time we had a civil war. You know, so
yeah,
history repeats itself. It can repeat, right? If we're not careful, you know, Reconstruction can happen again. I mean, everything can go full circle again. You know, just everything can go full circle again, like it. You know, just that's just the way the process is. If we're not careful, I mean, we're very close. I mean, January 6th basically showed us that, right? That, you know, here you had a mob of angry white people that wanted to. They weren't happy with the white guy that was in office. They wanted another white guy in office. Like the Civil War, here you got one white man,
Mm-hmm.
Donald Trump, who convinced a bunch of white people that they were no longer in power, because another white man won the White House. Think about that, and here they are mobbing the White House, the Capitol, to get rid of this white guy because they think he's an in lover, because he got a woman of color as his vice president. And they think he's going to croak in the office, and then she's going to be president. Now you got people don't even know her name, man. I was in the grocery store a few days shopping for Thanksgiving, and I hope you guys had a nice Thanksgiving, by the way. So I'm shopping for Thanksgiving, right? And the lady in line, ringing up the groceries in front of me, she's having a conversation about the price. This is the lady ringing the groceries, complaining about the prices of food, and she's blaming, the current president. And she goes, "Wow, they wanted him instead of Trump, and I hope that other lady doesn't become president." You didn't even say her name. The lady, didn't even give her vice president. Kamala Harris, nothing of that. I hope that lady doesn't become president. Like, they didn't even put her name on it, just that lady, And I'm sitting there next in line listening to this, and I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
It's so blatant and open right now, man. Nobody hides their racism anymore. She saw me standing there. She didn't even care, man. She just, obviously, she knows I'm not a Trump supporter, But yeah, that lady's gonna be president, So, oh my God, man. It's just, I've never seen racism so open, Carl and Tanya, just so openly blatant right now. Like, it's just, they're not even trying to, hide it anymore. It's just like,
Yeah, you guys saw the trial, the one of the defense lawyers.
Oh yeah, about the toenails.
Yes, she talked.
I was like,
Ahmaud Arbery having dirty toenails, like he's some kind of animal that they.
That's what they're trying to paint. That's exactly what they're trying to paint.
Yeah.
If they can get the jury to think that he's an animal or he did something wrong, the jury will be, oh, okay, that's why they did it. It makes sense. That's why Kyle got off. Because they were able to make the jury think that this poor kid, they were about to attack him. And they showed only the clip of the video where it looks like they're attacking him, but they didn't tell the part where he was going around talking shit with his gun. They didn't show that part.
How do you get to leave your house, go out, start some shit, and then claim self-defense?
Because it's a gun packing state, and that's why they made it that way.
And because you were at a Black Lives rally, Mally.
Yeah, exactly. So you get permission to do whatever you want. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, if you're with us or you're against us, we talked about that last week. White people, you're either on our side or you're not on our side. If you stand with Black people, then you may be harmed, right? This is the way it is,
Yep. Which is crazy.
That happened with, people that freed the slaves, like we said last week. People that freed the slaves were caught and killed for freeing slaves. If you were white and you helped slaves escape, you paid the price.
Yeah. I don't know what the end result people are hoping for. You know what I mean? I'm going to show this video, and it's going to show a little bit of more white privilege, but we've all seen stuff like this before.
Hey, I was going to buy that. That's mine. I just hadn't taken it to the cash register yet.
Oh, well, I guess I could say the same thing, considering I'm the one who's holding it.
Yeah, I don't have time for this. Just give it to me.
Excuse me? Who do you think you are talking to me like that?
Oh, I can talk to you any way I want.
No, you can't.
Look, I'm not leaving here until I get that robe.
Well, then we've got a problem.
Oh, now you're threatening me? Just give me the robe. I said, give it to me.
Dad, what is wrong
Give it
with
to
you?
me.
Get off of me.
Aren't you going to do something? She took my robe. She shoved me.
I did no such thing. And they know it.
Fine. I'm calling the police.
Go ahead. Call them.
Yes, hi. I'm at a store at Broadway and 60th. I'd like to report an assault.
Okay, wait, hold on. That's not what happened. I saw the whole thing.
Oh, really? Tell it to the cops. See who they believe.
Come here, baby.
happened to me.
Damn it, Tall Carl. Why do you show that clip, man? You got me pissed off over here now.
I know. That happened to me. I had a Karen in the store do something very similar.
Really?
All I was asking for was help, and she just went into Karen mode. I'm gonna call the police, and I was like, who for what? For me spending my money? Are you calling the police? That doesn't make sense to me. I was like, girl, you need to not be working. If you don't work.
But that's the level, and that to me that goes back to why like Rittenhouse can leave his house with a gun, why those guys can jump off their porch and go chase down Ahmaud Arbery. You know what I mean? Like they seem to know that the law is on their side. They know that. Yes. I don't have that confidence.
No, it is, and that's just some states too. Because like, I don't think nobody in my town would try that. I can't speak for it forever, but pretty much, thank God.
Well, you live in New York. And we had the Central Park situation, and that's almost and that's basically the same thing, except for the video camera captured, and this lady here, the clip Carl just showed, most likely that's in modern times, so there's probably some video footage, security cameras in the sky, which would have helped save the sister from going to jail, most likely, right? And now we live in a world of cameras that can help us out, Just think if the guy in Central Park didn't have his cell phone, what would have happened, right?
Yeah, no, there's a couple. Yeah, that phone is really
saving our asses right now.
Yeah,
but not. And security footage in these stores will save us from things like that happening now. But the fact that people still emboldened enough to even try that, just the audacity of her to believe that she has that right and power. First of all, that sister could kick that ass if she wanted to. We know this, right? That woman looked like she wasn't messing with it, but she knew better.
But the fact that they like white people like her would talk to black adults like they're nothing. They talk to them like.
I had a lady at one of my former jobs that talked to me like that, and I said to her, "Excuse me, I'm cashiering. I'm not slaving." And she was like, "Are you being sassy with me?" Am I being sassy? You sound like you're back in the 1800s. Well, I'm gonna bring you right there, boo. No, massa, Oz isn't. And she got pissed and went and told my boss and was like, I'm gonna get you fired. That's what she told me. I said, well, do what the fuck you gotta do, because I don't care about getting fired. So she was like, she thought I was joking. I was like, go ahead, I will bring you to the boss. How about that? Please. No. Yeah. I've had a few Karens I try to get me fired, and I was like, I don't care. No, this job is not a career move. Like really,
But it's just the confidence with which they walk through this world. But in America, like I say, when I came to America, I noticed white people have a swagger about them when they walk around America. That you don't see that swagger when they come to the Caribbean. They're more timid. They're more smiley. When they're in the Caribbean, when they're surrounded by black people. I'm not quite sure why that is. I don't know if
black people are serving on them. That's why.
Yeah.
There's a difference. That's what that is. That's a strange one. That's exactly what it is. They're getting service, so they know that there's a limit to what will be done and said and done, because you'll do everything to protect your what do you call that? Vacation people? What do you call that?
The tourism industry.
The tourism industry. Yeah. That's your everything. So not just you, but any place.
Yeah. I see what you're saying.
So with that being said, automatically it's a different connotation. It's everything is relieved from you. Everything. You still have the things there, and the saying that, oh, I know they're racist, but you're not going to get the same. It's going to be like, hi, Carl, how are you? Because I know I'm not going to see Carl for too long. I'm taking my ass home. And I know Carl wants to make some money. He's going to be very nice to me, too. And we're going to get along just fine, because I'm going to get what I want.
No, I don't want a coconut water today.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm saying that's what I think it is.
Yeah.
I don't want to today.
Other places, you're right. Here it's like, why they grab their pocketbooks on the train, and you walk into a store and security be like looking at you, and so certain things happen that you're like, why are you doing that? But that's because you don't really know. You can assume somebody in a hoodie you might make those stereotypes or whatever, but I still get it, and I'm in a Ralph Lauren suit, and I still get people. I had a lady grab her bag on the subway, the Metro North in Chappaqua. She grabbed her bag, and I was like, girl, first of all, lift up my shades. I said, first of all, it's not even the Chanel boy bag. Okay, let's keep this real. And I said, second of all, that's like That's like a cheap bag. Like if I'm gonna be a thief, at least give me credit to know the difference between a good bag and a knockoff. That's a knockoff. And and her husband tried to defend her. He was like, no, 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 she wasn't grabbing her bag. Yes, she was. She grabbed it. It was clear and evident. She just grabbed her bag because she saw a black woman. I said, I have on a Ralph Lauren said, if you know anything about clothes, look at my coat and look at me. Do I look like I'm going to get on a train, take your little pocketbook that you probably don't have any cash in, because most people who do have money, A, they don't take the train, and B, they don't carry cash. So you don't make, that means you don't have much money either, because you're on the Metro North. That tells me that. So she was like, oh no, they were trying to cover. I said, save it for somebody else. It's not for me. All I can tell you is not every black person wants your bags, boo-boo. Not everybody wants your bag. So she got a lesson, at least.
Yeah. We also want to jump into this a little today. That do black people hold other black people to a higher standard? Right? Do we? Because I'm thinking if a black person,
when it comes to crime, you mean?
But yes, when it comes to crime, yes. Right. I can almost say with almost certainty that if a black person had did what Kyle Rittenhouse did, or did what Dylan Ruth did, go into a white church and kill a lot of white people, or leave house with a gun and go shoot up, we wouldn't be on their side. No, we wouldn't be like, yeah, they get them. You know what I mean? You killed some.
You know, what we wouldn't do is donate millions of our dollars towards their defense.
Absolutely, yes.
No.
Yeah. Because nobody, and O.J. Simpson is rich, but nobody black put money towards O.J. Simpson Defense Fund. You know, nobody black would support Kyle Rittenhouse if he was black. Kyle Rittenhouse received millions of dollars in donations to afford that top lawyer team he had. And don't think the guys in Georgia that murdered Arbery, they probably received lots of money also, donations, mainly from white Christians. So who are people that donate most of this money to these murderers? The guy Dylan Roof received so much money into his Cash App, they had to shut it down.
Imagine that.
Yeah, they had to shut down his Cash App because it was receiving so many donations.
So now he's
Here's a guy that went to a church and murdered, shot 9 people. I think 8 of them died, correct?
Well, 12, I thought. Oh,
12, yes, I'm sorry. And he left 1 alive to tell the story. So he, and then people like, okay, we're going to give him money for that, for his donations. We're going to donate money to him.
They're literally telling us.
That's the wake-up call right there where we are in America when Dylan Roof receives millions of dollars into his Cash App to help him with his defense fund. That means there are people, your next door neighbor, your bus driver, your police officer, your judge, your firefighter, your doctor, your dentist, whatever. All these people are donating money to Dylan Roof. It's just not some redneck in a trailer with a Confederate flag on his front door. It's normal people that we see every day.
Yep. Bringing
out groceries, like the lady at the ShopRite grocery store that ring up my groceries last week, talking crap right in front of me. It's these people who donate this money to Kyle Rittenhouse and to Dylan Roof and all these people, And that just goes, and you're right, Carl. We wouldn't. We have no history of it. We don't support that, We supported OJ for a different reason. Because here we had a man that was beating the system that has beaten us so many times, Like as we see right now, how many black men are being exonerated and getting out of prison. One guy just got released, 2 days ago, 3 days ago? He spent 43 years in prison for a crime he didn't do. Then we got the other guy. We got the other kid who's in jail right now, who they just saved his life at the last moment, but he's still in prison for a crime he apparently didn't do.
He didn't do, and they proof, and they still got him in prison.
That's why you saw black people jumping him and down for O.J. Simpson, and there's no footage of O.J. Simpson killing nobody, And we have footage of Kyle Rittenhouse. We have footage of Ahmaud Arbery's killers, and we have footage of Derek Chauvin putting his knee on George Floyd's neck. With all of this, we have footage of Sterling being killed. And the list goes on and on and on, and Walter Scott, of all this footage, we still had to bite our fingernails to hope for a guilty verdict.
You know, we've had
There's no footage of
people killed
OJ,
this year.
but you can't tell one white person that he's innocent.
Yeah,
no,
they seem
no
to,
footage.
Yeah, there's a certain section of the white society that there's nothing a white person can do that they would not support. Nothing, you know what I mean?
Trump said it. Trump said it at his rally. He said that.
I can go out on Fifth Avenue.
Huh?
Yeah, you go ahead. He can go
He
out.
said I can go shoot somebody right now in
Yeah.
this whole rally, and I will get away with it because that's how much support and love I got.
Yeah.
And he's right. He was right. He told the truth about that. I got people on my DM.
That's why Rittenhouse did exactly what Trump said he could do and got away
Exactly.
with it. And
He
that's
set
why
the ground.
Trump-
He set the ground for all these people in this behavior. He set the ground.
Absolutely. Rittenhouse did exactly what Trump said. I go shoot somebody, they'll support me. Rittenhouse shot somebody, Trump support. These guys in Georgia are going to jail for life. They deserve to be in jail for life. I'm not quite sure if it was a political move or a fear. I hate to say that, of another riot happening like 2020, George Floyd, Breonna type situation happening so close to Christmas when these stores need the money. Can this country afford another? Can this country afford another summer of 2020, especially during the Christmas holiday? And I think that if they came back for not guilty verdict, I think we would be in that situation right now. I think Black America would be going crazy right now because we saw this guy. We saw them hunt down Ahmaud Arbery and shoot him in the street.
Yeah, that's just a crazy case. I mean, there's nothing to justify
I just think
this.
it's a political move that they found it guilty. I think it was under different circumstances and not so close to the Christmas holiday where these stores, where this country needs the financial, money. I think they would have found these people not guilty. I don't know why they would have. I mean, this is who we are. Who we are.
If they did, we would have been like, yo, no, something would have been going down. There's no way. Just like if they get off, they're gonna have problems. I'll tell you that. They're gonna have big problems. Because it's just
America is who they are. They're showing who they are every day to us, Tanya. They don't hide who they are anymore. But they will protect their bottom line in some cases. And right now, not having people burning stores and Targets and shit this close to Christmas, America can't afford that, They can't afford
Can you think of a Black person that did something atrocious like what Dylan Ruth or Kyle Rittenhouse did, and we came out and supported them?
No, because we didn't support that young kid who was like 15 that shot the people with his father on the bridge. We didn't support him. Nobody said, "Oh, he's a poor kid, poor kid." We were like, remember the Jamaican kid, the Jamaican family?
They were hiding. Yeah, right.
They were hiding in the bush. Yeah. We didn't support them.
No,
we did not.
Yeah,
we didn't. I tell you, I got a better one. We didn't support the DC snipers.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's what you're talking about. The DC snipers.
Oh, DC snipers. Yeah, I lived through that. I was living in the state of Maryland when all of that was happening. Terrified. I was we're all mental victims of that. It happened right in my area where I was living at. Most of those murders, in the Silver Spring Wheaton area where my family's from. So it's terrifying. Bless you. But we didn't support them. Nobody Black sent money to them. Going, hey, let's get these guys some top lawyers. We didn't give a shit about those losers. So you're right, man.
Sorry,
we
guys.
don't support. We don't send our money to murderers. And bless you. Good drugs over there in London, huh?
No, the person who owns this Airbnb must have a cat because I get sniffly when I get in here in the living room. That's not a good place for me. Sorry, guys. I don't have clothing.
I said, kiss my ass by you there.
She said, "I'd love to, Kevin. I'd love to be fresh."
Yeah. I can't think of one Black person that has done something horrible that Black people rallied behind. You know what I mean?
Not at all.
No.
Not at all.
We just don't support hate. We've never supported hate. But for some reason, you know what I mean? Like that guy said in the video, I mean, savages. Some of the people, the right-wing white people, are just savages. And
he really summed it up.
A newsflash: America was founded on savagery.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what is new, ladies and gentlemen? This has been going on since the beginning of America. This country was founded on savagery, racism, slavery, murder, guns.
It's fight
power,
to the end, fight to the very end, and
it's
fight
just
dirty.
the same thing. Just now we have 24-hour news. Now we have social media, you know, to expose it. You know, what happened to Ahmaud Arbery, it happened on a cell phone. But trust me, how many black men are in graves right now because of those type of murders that we don't even know about, or that were never solved,
Exactly.
or never caught on a video because there was no such thing as a video. Especially in a state like Georgia. You know how many black men are probably in graves in the state of Georgia because murders like that?
Millions.
Thousands, you know, in the South, you know. So this has been happening to black men since, you know, since we've been here, man, especially since slavery ended. Lynchings like that was a lynching.
Well, that's a modern day lynching, we call it. And speaking of lynching, you know,
right.
Yeah, I mean, that's been really happening.
And there's nothing new under the sun, other than we now have cameras right here. It's a 4K video anytime we need one to protect our ass. In some cases, it might save our life. You know, this is why Derek Sherman is in jail right now, because without a cell phone, Derek Sherman would be on the golf course right now in his Florida home that he had. You know, without a cell phone, he'd have beat that case.
Cell phones now prevent some white people from saying, "Oh, come on," because that's what I used to. "Oh, come on, Carl, come on, that's not happening. Oh, come on, that didn't really happen. Oh, come on." You know what I mean? And I told him about the time when I went to pick up some Chinese food, and I was double parked, and a cop came up behind me and blew his horn. I'll make this story quick. Blew his horn, so he didn't put on the siren. So I said, "Just go around." You know what I mean? And he kept blowing his horn. And I was like, "Go around," and then he put his siren on. And he put his siren on, and he got out of his car. He came up to my window, started yelling at me. "Didn't you not hear me?" I said, "Well, I heard a horn. I didn't hear a siren." So, and he's like, "Get out the car." And before I could even do anything, he grabbed me, trying to yank me out of the car with my seatbelt still on. My son, who was like 4 or 5 at the time, he's crying. At the time my wife came out, this was back in 1991. And the name of the cop that did it was Sergeant P. Joyce. I still have the ticket. I hope he's dead by now. Seriously. And I ripped me out of the car, you know, and within seconds, there were like 4 or 5 police cars there. They had me on the ground, you know, feet in my back, knee in my back. Then they hog-tied me, handcuffed me, and then threw me in the back of the police car and took me to the police station. I stayed in jail for 3 days because it was a holiday weekend, because I couldn't get a bail bondsman.
Damn.
You know what I mean? Huh?
What was the charge?
The charge was failure to get out of the way of a police vehicle, of an emergency vehicle, failure to get out of the way of an emergency vehicle, and failure to notify the registry of my new address, because I had recently moved and my actual address did not match my driver's license address. I know they give you a certain amount of time to change your address. He said I didn't do it, and so that was the charge.
So you got out the car and been a pretty blonde, a miniskirt with big boobs, you wouldn't have went to jail.
No, probably not.
Okay.
You know? So that no cameras at the time. I don't think it was cell phones. They're probably cell phones, but not with you know what I mean?
With all the stuff.
Not the good cell phone. Yeah.
It was 1991, so I don't know if we had.
You had that boost. That was back in the day when
No, the pager.
That was back in the day when I had a car cell phone, but it was in the car. It was built into the car. You had the antenna.
Oh, wow.
The car. Remember that? Yeah. So I had a phone in the car, like a real phone, and then I had the antenna for the phone on the back of the car. So and
crazy. Wow.
Yes, I hate, and like the 2 weeks later, I saw the same cop doing detail on the street that I was on, and I drove right by him and just looked at him, and he looked at me. He didn't recognize me. I'm like, if I was a criminal or something, you know, I would have just fucking taken him out. But you know, to go back to what he says, thank God for the phones. You know what I mean? Because nobody, when I tell my white friends that story, they're like, they kind of roll their eyes like, yeah, that really happened. Like no, that happened.
The guy that's emceeing my show this weekend at the comedy club is a comedian. He's also a cop, or a former cop, comedian that's hosting the show this weekend. He's a former cop, and and he's also a big Trump supporter.
Yeah.
Here, yeah. So
Trump loves his cops.
Yeah.
here's as
Do a terrific job.
I wanted to read. Karen Francis made a comment. I'm looking at it. I didn't want to read it because I don't want to pronounce this word incorrectly. It says, I work for a HAUTE, haute couture designer. Is that how you pronounce it?
Haute couture. High fashion.
Okay.
High fashion in French.
Karen, you have to dumb it down for me, okay? Just say high fashion.
Haute couture. French.
Sure. She said, I work for a haute couture designer who hosted a party I attended. My best friend and I were the only Black people there, and the bartender asked us to leave. And I told my boss, and she tore into his ass.
Good.
Yeah. I mean, when you're the only.
How dare you, a bartender?
Yeah, the bartender.
That was stupid.
Yes. And Donna Hagan, what's up, Donna? Donna said, me and my husband, Donna, that's my husband and I. If you want it, no, I'm just kidding. Me and my husband went to the store the other day. As we were getting into our SUV, this white guy stared at us up and down, shaking his head. It's like he was wondering how could we afford a better vehicle than him. Yeah, I told you I had a white friend that told me her mom gets pissed when she sees a Black person driving a better vehicle than she. She goes, how can they afford that? She just...
Patricia had that same problem. She told me also. But people want to know how come she has a nice house or a nice car. It's crazy. Yeah, you know, we're not supposed to have better cars than them. We're not supposed to have better clothes than them. You know.
Yeah.
Who told them that lie? The universe is for everybody.
They wouldn't even. Yeah, and then they want to be like us anyway. They want to dress like us, and you know. This hat and that hat Carl has on. Brothers were wearing these hats back in the freaking, days, and then, it was all the fashions come from us, man.
Yeah.
So they can.
That's another show topic.
Yeah, they can hate all they want. Yeah.
And piggybacking on what we were just talking about, this is not going to piss you guys off, Kevin and Tanya. So don't.
Drum roll.
When you're Black, you're never really lonely because there will always be a white person all up in your business.
See, that's just Black people having fun, and here's another one.
When you're Black, you're never really lonely because there will always be a white person all up in your business.
All right, here's one more.
When you're Black, you're never really lonely because there will always be a white person all up in your business.
You're so serious.
Now this one,
you're doing the gangster lean.
This explains it.
When you're Black, you're never really lonely. I'm sure a lot of y'all have seen that post, right? But I realize why these people don't want to leave us alone. It's because anytime we're quiet, anytime we're minding our business, they can't figure out what we're up to, what we're doing. They assume that we're plotting and scheming because that's something that they would do. It is in these people's nature to really be plotting and scheming to hurt other people, take over, do all kind of crazy stuff. So the moment that they cannot figure somebody out, the moment that they don't know what you're up to, they assume again that you are trying to hurt them in some kind of way or take something away from them, because this is exactly how they think. This is exactly how they treat people. And they are afraid that the same thing that they've done to people for centuries will likely be done to them.
Yeah. They're always wondering, what are we up to? What are you doing? What are you up to? What's going on? Because like I swear I was driving today and I drove by a cop, and I do not look white cops in the eye, cops in general. But if I drive by a cop, I do not look if they're to my left or my right, I don't look at them, because I know once I look over, that's going to be cause for some kind of suspicion, or you know what I mean. But I have to consciously tell myself, don't look at them. because I know they're looking at me. I know there's I know there's no way a white cop is going to pull up next to a black guy in a car and not look over.
I do this.
Yeah.
Or this.
I'll tell you a quick story. I was back in the 90s, late 80s, 90s. I had really bad allergies, and I was sitting at a traffic light, and I started sneezing, and I had some tissues in the seat next to me, so I was, blowing my nose, and it was like this. And when I came up, there was a cop doing this in this, like trying to see what I was doing, like he thought I was doing the line of coke. He thought he was doing the line of coke. He was easing up out of his seat, trying to look into my car. Probably thought he was going to see some white residue underneath my nose or something.
What an idiot. Wow. It's crazy. Crazy.
Yeah.
The things we go through.
Yeah.
Whatever happens.
Yeah.
Just
So
want to see justice.
we definitely don't hold our people. We definitely hold our people to a higher standard. You know what I mean? We don't. If you're not doing what we think you should be doing as a black person, we definitely do not jump on the bandwagon and go yay. Like I've said, I've never been in a conversation with a group of black people and we talk about going on and hurting anybody. But that seems to be on the other side. It seems to be these groups get together for one reason and one reason only, and that's to go out and hurt people. Yeah. I mean, they want a race war.
Mm-hmm.
They're hoping for a race war.
I know. There's so many of them have gone and got Glocks and AK-49, whatever you call them, dumb guns. I was like, what do you get? Why do you have an art? Like, people are showing this on Facebook. I said, first of all, you're stupid because as soon as you do whatever you do, they're coming to your Facebook page. So that's just dumb.
Yeah.
If you're going to be a criminal, be a good one. Like, don't leave traces.
So when I'm asking what do they really want, I think what they really want and are hoping for is a race war because they know they have the majority of the guns, so they're hoping, like there was a video with a cop said he can't wait to wipe us off the face of the earth or something like that. He can't wait for the race war because he want to wipe us out. They want a reason to wipe us off.
One of the killers.
Very scary thought. Someone said that.
One of Ahmaud's killers, Auburn killers, had a Confederate flag bumper sticker on the back of the pickup truck. Who owned the pickup truck? Was it the son or the dad? Whoever owned the pickup truck had a Confederate. Now, they didn't allow that into court, from what I understand.
Of course not.
Court, but he had a Confederate flag bumper sticker on the back of the truck. And I don't think they allowed that to be the jury to know about that for some reason. Why? I have no idea. Because, if you have a Confederate flag.
Yes, you do. Because they don't want the jury for any reason to have a reason. And that would give a reason like, wait a minute, he's got a Confederate flag, so he does hate black people. Now you just linked it together. Now you got a hate crime, and that's a whole nother level. So that's why. He knows
all these fools are facing federal charges now. So it's going to come up now that,
I was going to say, they didn't let that into court. That's weird.
Yeah, they didn't let that into the court that he had the Confederate flag. But now that the federal charges are coming, because they're going to get the federal hate charges. Basically, these guys are never going to get out of jail the rest of their life. They're going to die behind bars because they're already going to get life. And then the federal charges are coming in, and that's going to add more years and more, stuff to it. Because now the federal charges are going to be the hate crime, and then they're going to get sued for everything. Whatever they own, if they own a house, Ahmaud's parents are going to get their property. They're going to be sued out of everything they own. So these guys basically ruined a 25-year-old man's life and it changed his family forever, but they also ruined their lives. Their racism ruined their lives, because now they're going to prison. These guys have kids and grandkids and wives and daughters, and, what I'm saying, and houses and cars. So everything, they're going to lose everything now because they're going to get sued for whatever they worth. They probably ain't worth much, but they're going to be sued for whatever they have. If you own a pickup truck, a boat, a freaking small house, whatever,
they'll get supported. Just like
Arbery's parents are going to have it in a couple of years. They're going to get that stuff, they're going to be sued out of their freaking redneck pants. So,
Trump's going to take care of all those.
You ruin everything. Your racism ruined. You let your racism ruin everything, which is just,
stupidity.
Baffling.
Yeah. right. Oh yeah. Also, I don't know if you guys heard. One of the Nazi groups just lost a case in court, and they ordered to pay 26 million.
Oh, I thought it was 60 million. Okay, yeah, 26.
Yeah, 26 million, and seems to be there's no way they can get around it. It's not like they can, you know what I mean? They have to pay it.
That's what I heard.
Well, they can't pay it, Carl, but what it does do, for my research, what it does do, because these people don't have that money to pay, but what it does, it means they can't fundraise, because a lot of these people have to fundraise to hold these rallies. You know, it takes money to get the hotels, money to get the buses to travel, money for tiki courses, and money for racism costs money, you know, so it takes money for them to put these rallies together. So now they can't even hold a fundraiser. And let's say they try to hold a fundraiser to get money for to get $500,000 to do a big rally or whatever it costs. Let's say we need $200,000 to do this rally. That $200,000 they raise automatically is going to be snatched.
Yeah.
You know, so any money they try to fundraise and raise for their racist causes is going to be freaking taken. And you know, and they can't get a permit to do stuff because they need money for that too, and that money is going to be taken. So they have to go totally underground trying to hold these rallies now. You know, they can't go through the bank and they can't go through the legal ways of doing it. You know, so.
Tanya, Elizabeth Graybill told you to wake up.
I'm woke. It's a different time here. I'm in London. It's 11 o'clock here.
11 o'clock, and okay.
And Grandma was babysitting. So
there you go. 6
o'clock on the East.
Well, also more importantly, there's a cat. It's not here, but it was in this house, and I'm really having bad at reaction for it, so that's not good either. So my apologies.
No, you don't apologize.
Is Gina? No, you don't have to apologize. Is Gina Forio still with us? She's supposed to come to my show last night.
Right.
Gina supposed to come to the show last night, and it was sold out. She couldn't make it. So sorry, Gina. I could have got her in though. She just show up. Got her in, you know?
Yeah.
Huh?
You got Gina, just show up. You say I know Kevin.
Yeah, she could have showed up, and I'd have got her in. I mean, if she said it was just her coming by herself, there wasn't no big party of, you know, it was just her coming by herself. I could have got her in the club. She could have found a table in the back somewhere. Yeah. She could have chilled throughout the show.
And you're white.
You know that, huh?
I said, she's white. Yeah,
and you're white.
And she's gorgeous.
Yes.
Super gorgeous.
I know.
I'm just saying.
We could have got her in.
You're white and pretty. You don't need a ticket. Just show up.
No, not at all.
Hi, I'm Gina. Period.
So next time, come see the show.
She said you didn't say that, Kev. Yes. Well,
yes, I did.
Use your white privilege, Gina. Come on. Use your white privilege.
Pam was supposed to come to the show tonight, and she's under the weather. So
I thought she was coming.
She's coming now. I think she said she's still coming.
Yeah, she's still coming. She said her throat, but it's nothing like a cold.
Yeah.
That's what I thought she said.
All right, we're gonna wrap it. I'm gonna read Donna Haygood said, I don't understand why the color of my skin scares white people so much after all the atrocity they did to us on their and their skin didn't scare us. Right. Donna, that's the $1 trillion question we've been asking since the show started.
Yes, that's it. And
we're not afraid of them, but they are afraid of us.
Yes, and they've done all the damage.
Right. Nobody knows. It's called a Jedi mind trick. That's where, you know, they do stuff to you and then they make you think that it's your fault.
Yep. Oh, people are good for that. I call it narcissistic behavior.
Yeah.
But whatever.
It's like getting rear-ended by a tractor trailer, and then the guy gets out of his truck and starts yelling at you. What the hell is wrong with you? That's what it is. We want to thank everyone for watching today's show. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching us on YouTube. Thank you for watching us on Facebook. Please join us again next week. We're going to have another super hot topic. Thanks to Donna. I didn't get to read everyone's comments. I apologize. We mentioned a few people. I'm not going to get to name everyone either that's in here, so please forgive me for that. G Carr, Donna Haygood, thank you so much for checking in, Donna. Karen Francis, thank you so much for sharing your story. Who else is in here? B, this person told me to refer to them as B, I think. Konashi Bellard. B, what up, B? Thanks for checking us out.
B? What's up, B?
Elizabeth Graybill, she checked in late, but she's here. Thanks,
Hey,
Elizabeth.
Liz. What's up, Liz?
What's up? Thank you so much. Anthony Robertson.
Anthony, what's up?
What's up, Anthony? Thank you so much for checking in. And if anyone ever wants to jump on the panel, I don't think you guys are shy, or maybe, I don't know what kind of jobs you have, so you can't be associated with the show. I'm not trying to get anybody lose their job, but if you ever want to join, we would happily put the link in the chat, and you can jump on and you can share your views.
Right.
You know, you don't always have to comment by writing, you know.
You can wear a mask so we don't know who you are. Just don't wear a hood.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good one. Wear a mask, but don't wear.
You can wear a mask. Just don't wear a hood.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good way to be incognito, right?
Yeah. Yes.
It's been done before.
Well, about 5 years ago, I joined Trump's panel. You know, I became
5
just
black
like
comics. Nobody know who I am. So Tanya, you still in London? And
I'm still in London. I'm here till the right before Christmas. I'll go home.
Okay, so you'll be doing a show next week from London?
Yeah, again.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
from
in New Jersey right now.
Look, from the shed, or I'll be whispering from my room.
And starting in 2022, we're probably going to move the show to an earlier hour, probably 1 or 2 o'clock, because I'm going to be back out there. And 5 o'clock is going to be too late for me to, you know.
Back on the road, Carl.
Back on the road.
Trying to be the next Kevin Lee. I got you.
So we'll let everyone know, but probably the show will be 1 p.m. or 2 p.m. Once we all agree to it.
Yes,
it's definitely going to be an earlier time, because I can't do 5, get off at 6, and make it to, you know,
to
the show.
Right, that makes sense.
So please stay tuned. All right, guys, we love you.
Thank you, guys.
Peace and love, everybody.
All right.
Yes.
Carl up in the Boston area, right? No, you're in Connecticut.
Boston.
Surrounded by 3 people. Be safe up there, Carl.
And shout out to Barbados for telling the Queen.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Right, I meant to ask you about
that.
That's right.
They're watching the show. See, they're watching the show.
They're now a republic. Barbados has now severed all ties with the Queen.
Good. Ding dong, the witch is dead. Get out your house.
She's coming to Barbados and waving her white gloved hand out there, Rolls Royce's window, and we had to line up around the island as she drove by in her Rolls Royce. And then the Rolls Royce would drive right back onto the ship or whatever, and it was so neat.
Right out of the slave book.
It is.
NASA's coming. We got to get ready.
Yeah, the government had the entire island. They would ask us come down, except for my father. My father was an F the Queen kind of guy.
Really?
Not even was he is. Oh yeah.
Oh,
my
really?
father said he would go, but he would moon the Queen if he went down. I'm like, okay, Dad, you can stay. You can stay home. You don't
stay home. We don't need you. That's all right. We're good, Dad. Hilarious.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Thank you for watching the show.
Yeah,
See you
guys.
next week. All right.
Bye.
Bye.